What up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is something, something, something. Hit the keys in case this is your first time viewing. And if it is, welcome. Normally what I do on this channel is production tutorials, and I also do software reviews. But on Mondays, we'd like to do something a little different called Made for Mondays, where basically I give you some inspiration to get the week going, or some tips, or just some motivation so that you can start your week off on the right foot. I know you probably saw the title of the video already, called Barriers to Success. So today I just want to talk to you guys about some barriers to success that I've seen myself, or maybe I've gone through. I'm gonna just give you guys some quick fixes and quick solutions to just jump over those barriers so that they're not in the way anymore. Make sure if you guys like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so every time we got a new video, you can be the first to find out. But let's go ahead and get into these barriers. Some, hit the key. All right, guys, so the first barrier that I want to talk to you guys today is not setting goals. Some of you guys may not see that as a barrier, or may not even understand why that's not that big. But the reason why that's a big barrier to your success is because if you don't have goals, how do you measure your success? You can't have success without goals. So basically, I used to work for this job, and we used to do what was called SMART objectives, and we used to set up our business plans for the quarter and for the year and everything based off of these SMART action plans. So a SMART action plan is basically an acronym for 5 different things. It's being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So that's the order in which you want to set all your goals in. And I still, to this day, when I make my goals for whatever it is, whether it's YouTube, or it's my music, or it's my financial situation, or whatever it is that I'm making my goals for, I still to this day use that SMART acronym. The reason being is that when you're setting goals, so if your goal is just, I want to be famous, well, that's not really a specific goal. How are you going to get there? What if you're famous for making notoriously bad beats? Or what if you're famous for some meme or something like that? Something that doesn't give you maybe the financial stability that you're looking for, or maybe the recognition that you're looking for. So you hit that goal that's not specific, but you didn't necessarily, that goal is not getting you to where you really want to be. So setting specific goals will maybe be something like, if you're starting off from the ground, maybe it's, I want to get 50 subscribers on YouTube by the end of this month. Or maybe it's, I want to get 100 plays on a SoundCloud song that I put out this month. Or maybe it's, maybe I want to link up with a different artist once a week. So I want to link up with an artist every week. Or maybe it's something like, I want to make a beat every single day for the next month. So by the end of the month, I have 30 completed beats. So now you have a goal, you have something set, and now you're aiming towards that success. And once you hit that goal, you've reached one success, now you set another goal, now you set another goal, now you set another goal. And so these goals continue to help you grow and continue to help you build on what it is that you want your big goal to be. So you can make 10 different goals that can equal one goal. So if your goal is to maybe, let's say, just a loose goal, to monetize on YouTube, or monetize on whatever platform it is that you want to monetize on. Maybe if you're a gamer, you want to monetize on Twitch. Well, if you set up a goal every month that I'm going to get 50 subscribers or 100 subscribers, those goals are going to add up to your main goal. So definitely making specific goals, making it measurable goes with that. So, something that you can measure every month. You don't want to just make your goal, oh, I want to make money off music. Okay, that's a nice goal, but how much money do you want to make? So if you just say something like, I just want to make money off music, if somebody gives you $1 for a beat, is that really a goal that you want to be shooting for? You know what I'm saying? So make your goals measurable and make your goals achievable. So don't make your goal, oh, I want to sell 1,000 beats this year. If you've never sold a beat, then 1,000 beats in a year isn't achievable. But maybe if you've never sold a beat and your goal is, I want to sell a beat in the next 3 months. So you reach that goal, and then now I want to sell 2 beats in the next 2 months. Now I want to sell 3 beats next month. And do you see how the goals are more achievable? Because once you hit that goal once, it feels like it's easier to make the goal the second time, because you're going to have confidence behind yourself. You're going to be ready to roll. You're going to be ready to go. You're going to be ready to work towards that goal. Next, realistic. It needs to be a realistic goal. If it's not a realistic goal, it's not something that you're going to be able to achieve. And if you can't achieve the goal, then why set it? if that makes sense. I'm not saying don't make the goals hard, but if you make an unrealistic goal, like, oh, I want to get a placement for a rapper and go platinum in the next 6 months, but you haven't sold one beat before, that's not a realistic goal. And a timely goal. So that goes with the other things that I've been talking about. So when you set that goal, I want to make a beat a day, you have a timely goal. Every day you have every day at the end of the day, you've reached your goal. And so at the end of the month, if you have 30 beats, 31 beats, then you've reached your goal by a time measure. So I would definitely always put those things together when you're setting your goals, because again, you cannot have success without goals, because how will you measure success? You know what I'm saying? Success is measured by achievements. So whether you think success is being rich, well, there was a goal for what somebody considered rich. If you consider success being the boss at your job, well, the goal was to be the boss. So that is what the goal was. So, you were successful once you hit that goal. So that's what I'm saying with, you have to set goals in order to be successful. Otherwise, that is a barrier to your success. The second barrier to success, this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. I've been there, trust me, more than once, but bad relationships. And what I mean by bad relationships are relationships with people who don't understand what your main goal is. So if you're in a relationship with a girl, or if you're a girl, you're in a relationship with a guy, or if you're a guy in a relationship with a guy, whatever kind of relationship you have with a significant other, if they don't support you, at the end of the day, that's probably not going to work out for either you or your music. Something's going to have to give, because you can't be in a relationship where somebody's negative on something that you want to do every single day, because as a musician, doing music is something that's a daily task. It's something that you're going to do every single day for the rest of your life. Really it is. If you're a musician and you love this, it's something you're going to do forever. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that hates music, or hates your music, or hates you doing shows, or hates you going downstairs in your studio and working on music every day, or hates you writing raps, or wants to control with the kind of songs you put out. So if like, let's say before you were in a relationship, all your songs were about girls. Well, if you're still writing songs like that and that person doesn't appreciate it, that's who you are. That's what you were doing. It doesn't necessarily say that you're cheating on that person or you're doing nothing bad. But when people try to control your music and the things that you do, it's going to prevent you from being as productive as you possibly can. And that's a huge barrier for your success. Trust me, again, I have been there. I have been in relationships where at the beginning, the person was super supportive. So they came to all the shows and so on and so forth. And I always said, this is something that I'm always going to do. I've been doing this for 20 years now. It ain't going nowhere. If you want to be with me, you're going to have to deal with music. Now, with that being said, I made time for the person. So it wasn't like I didn't make any time for that person at all. And that's something that you need to do, is you need to figure out how to balance that time. So you need to make sure that if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, that you spend time with your significant other while also focusing on your music. So again, if the relationship isn't good and the person is always complaining about you doing music and they're always negative about your music, you need to either decide whether you want to be in that relationship with that person, or you want to continue the music, because it's not going to end the way that you want it to end. You're going to get married to this person, and eventually you're going to quit doing music, and the rest of your life you're going to wonder, man, I wonder if I could have made that work. Man, I wonder if I could have made that happen. So again, bad relationships are something that you have to watch out for. That's one of the biggest barriers to success, if not the biggest one. The next one is kind of a hard pill to swallow too, but I would say video games. Video games are a huge barrier to success. Now, I'm not knocking gamers. I was a gamer since I was 5. I was a gamer for a long time. I've had Nintendo, PlayStation, Genesis, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360. You get what I'm saying? I've had everything. I've had all the systems, but at some point in time, I had to stop playing games, because if you work full time, so if you work 8 hours a day, you got to get up in the morning, you got to get ready for work, you got to drive to work, right? You got to drive home from work. So we'll say that's 10 hours right there, 8-hour work day, plus an hour to get ready, a half hour to go to work, a half hour to come home from work. Okay. If you're in a relationship and if you have kids, then you have to spend time with your kids. So you got to spend time with your kids till they go to sleep. You got to eat dinner. Then if you're in a relationship, you got to spend time with the person that you're with. So now it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So now what do you want to do? Do you want to play video games or do you want to work on music? So if you choose to play video games for 3 hours, now it's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You have to go to sleep so you can go to work again the next day. So then the next day you come home, you run through the same cycle again. Now it's 10 o'clock at night. The kids are asleep. The girl's asleep. You've completed your workday. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to play video games or are you going to work on music? If you pick video games, now it's 2 days that you haven't worked on music. So now it's day number 3. So now what are you going to do when you come home? Are you going to play video games? You get the point. So if you have all this other stuff in your life, it's hard to balance music with video games, with the family, with the wife, with kids, with all those other things. And again, I'm not saying don't play games. Maybe if you want to play on the weekend or something like that. But if you want to be serious about music and you want to try to figure out how you can use music as a tool in order to create and so on and so forth, you might not be able to play video games all the time. If you're doing shows, you have to practice for the shows. You gotta mix and master all your music. You gotta get everything ready to be on stage. You gotta promote your stuff. There's so much time, there's so much effort and stuff that you have to do that it's hard to be a full-time gamer or somebody who plays games 2-3 hours a day while you're doing all these other things. So just take that in consideration. I'm not telling you guys not to game. I'm not being a hypocrite. I game for the majority of my life. I still play a few games here and there, but if I have the choice between working on music and playing games, I'd rather, work on music because I'm a musician first. Number 4, and kind of stay along the same path as this, is I would say time management. If you're not managing your time well, so if you come home from work, you work 10 hours and you've eaten dinner, now you're at 11th hour of your day, maybe you got to spend time with your girl or you got to spend time with your kids or whatever. If you choose to watch a football game, which again, I am like one of the biggest sports fans in the world. I run a sports group. I'm guilty of this for years, but if you choose to come home and watch the game until midnight or whatever time, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, and you spent your whole day working, eating, spending time with your wife, and now you've watched the game and you haven't decided to work on music, that's a barrier to your success. If you want to binge watch a show on Netflix, that's a barrier to your success. If you want to just lay on the couch and watch TV, that's a barrier to your success. If you're just on Facebook all day, barrier to your success. If you're using that time on Instagram instead of making music, that's a barrier to your success. All these other outside things and applications and YouTube and everything like that, even though I know you're watching YouTube right now, but if you're spending hours doing that, that's a barrier from you to making music. Now, some of these tools are good. Like YouTube's cool because you can get on YouTube and you can find, tutorials on free stuff, or, you can just watch something that'll make you laugh for a couple minutes, give you a couple minutes break, and then go back to what you're doing. So it's a good tool because it helps you to become better in your craft. But some of these things don't help you become any better in your craft. And I'm not telling you never to look at Facebook or Instagram, but I'm telling you to manage that time better so that you have more time to focus on your music and to work on your music. The next one is another hard one. All these are really hard barriers to success, but the company that you keep, so your family and your friends, can be huge barriers. And a lot of times they don't realize that they're being barriers. So like your family may not realize that they're being barriers because they've seen people fail before, but just because they've seen people fail before doesn't mean that you're going to fail. And that's something that they have to realize. Just because maybe they failed at their dreams or something like that, that doesn't mean that you're going to fail. You guys have different dreams. You have different work ethics. You have different goals. You have different just different ways to attack what it is that you're trying to do with your life. So a lot of times they don't realize that negativity brings you down. And when you're hearing negativity all the time from the people that you love, that can really hurt you, and that can be a barrier to your success because it can mess up your productivity. It can mess up your, basically your juju. It can mess up how you feel. It can mess up maybe how you move going forward. Maybe you stop doing music because everybody's telling you it's not something for you, but they don't realize that maybe you've been doing it for 6 months. Kanye West was making beats for how many years before he became famous? Hit Boy was making beats for how many years before he became famous? rappers, how many years are all the rappers rapping before they become famous? It's not like this is something that happens overnight. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes dedication, it takes love, it takes all those things, pain, sweat, and tears. It takes all that in order for you to be successful and for you to strive in this music. So they don't understand because they don't do it. They don't understand, you know? They think because maybe they might have failed at a sport or something like that growing up, that it's the same. It's not the same, you know? Or maybe your skill levels aren't the same. Maybe you're better at your dream than they were better at their dream, you know? So, and then with friends, your friends don't understand that you need to spend the time working on this music. So a lot of us have friends that always want to kick it, but they don't understand that you need to spend a couple hours a day working on your music. Or your friends may not want to be honest with you and tell you, oh, you need to work on this, or oh, I think these beats would be better if you did this, or whatever it is. They don't want to give you the positive, you know, feedback that you need, and that's a barrier to your success. You don't want to always be, you don't want a bunch of yes men running around. You want people to tell you the honest to God truth. You want people to tell you how they feel, how they think. It may not change how you do things, but it may change what you make next time, if that makes sense. And the last barrier to your success is you. You are the last barrier to your success. So all these things that I just spoke about, if you're letting all these things get to you and stop you and control you, then you are the barrier to your success. If you don't make a beat because you're not motivated, you're the barrier to your success. If you're not making beats because you don't feel like you have the right software to make beats, you're the barrier to your success. If you're not making beats because all you can get is free software, or all you can do is make a beat off your phone, so you just would rather not make a beat, you are the barrier to your success. If you're not making beats because people don't want to collab with you, you are the barrier to your success. If you don't want to make beats because rappers aren't rapping over your beats, you are the barrier to your success. If you don't want to make beats because you think the only way that you can make money off of music is selling beats to rappers or singers, or you don't want to go any other avenue when there's just thousands and thousands of other avenues for you to get your music off, you are the barrier to your success. So, you know, that's what I got for you guys today. There's a lot more barriers to success. We're going to do a follow-up video on this maybe next month or something like that, or sometime down the line. But again, I appreciate you guys' time today. I don't take any of this as negative, because none of this is ever meant to be negative to you. It's just to give you guys some, you know, some tips and let you know some things that I've gone through. I've been my own barrier to success. So make sure if you guys like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we drop a new video, you can be the next to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.